This summer, get to Burlington for the hottest deals under the sun with everything you'd need to keep your budget afloat. Wow, summer, just another season to save big at Burlington. You'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington. Wow.
Surprise her on Mother's Day. 1-carat emerald pendants are $69. 1-carat diamond 2-heart pendants $6.99. 1-carat high-grade studs $5.99 and 2-carat tennis bracelets $8.99. Thousands of gifts guaranteed to appraise for double. The Jewelry Exchange, Tustin.
Smoking Good Times, hosted by James Worthy, May 21st.
I'm Chip Yost. We are at the border. Coming up, we'll have the latest on the Title 42 situation here.
Good morning, I'm Frank Buckley. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee has wrapped its investigation into President Biden and his family after public accusations of corruption against the Bidens. The committee's report tells a different story. Those details just ahead.
Good morning, I'm Lena Bovian live here in the Fairfax District. Coming up next, some of LA's busiest streets may soon be reconfigured to make more room for bicyclists and buses. We'll tell you which ones. This new proposal being considered by the LA City Council. That's next.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. Want to travel first class on a budget? A travel blogger joins us with tips on how to use credit cards in your favor so that you can book incredible trips for less.
Good morning, I'm Sam Rubin, brand new here at 10 o'clock. Bob from Top Gun Maverick on the way to join us live. What is Lewis Pullman up to? We'll have that conversation. Plus, the writer's strike extending into other areas. A few interesting pickets on tap. We'll talk about them coming up.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock and a great looking weekend in store for Southern California at the end of the week and the beginning of the next week also. We're going to be into a whole lot more sunshine and much, much warmer temperatures. Beaches today, 66, 70 downtown, 74 in the San Fernando Valley. Clear skies all the way through Orange County, Inland Empire, in the high deserts, and those temperatures ranging anywhere from 72 to 79 degrees. Frank, back to you.
And to our developing news here, a pandemic-era policy allowing the U.S. to turn away migrants at the southern border ends tonight. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says on Tuesday alone, they apprehended more than 11,000 migrants who had crossed illegally. KTLA's Chip Yost live near the San Ysidro border of the U.S. and Mexico with more for us. Chip, good morning.
Yeah, good morning there, Frank. I want to show you and tell you something that's happening right now that might be some good news for a lot of these migrants that have kind of been in limbo in this area between the two border walls. If you look back here, you might see some folks. Here come some right now, if we can see them. They're leaving. You see it looks like a gentleman and a young child and some agents walking behind them. We saw some agents go up and talk to some groups of migrants, and some of the migrants showed us over the last couple of days they're wearing bands that indicate when they got here because they're in some sort of queue, it appears, to get into the port and possibly talk to an asylum officer. Some of them showed their bands. The agents we saw talking to them, all of a sudden some of the migrants started clapping and smiling, and some have now walked away with some of those officers and they're lining up. So it appears they may be going to get an interview with an asylum officer, which is the goal of a lot of these people. We don't know that for sure, but that is likely what we're seeing happening right now. Let's show you some video from this area from the last couple of days. The reason that's good news, a lot of these, for these migrants anyway, is they have been here, some of them, for days and days. They've been sleeping on the outside. It's been rough conditions, and their goal, some of them their dream, was to get in front of an asylum officer and try to prove their case that they should be granted asylum in the United States. Here's one woman we spoke to from Colombia. The situation here is critical in our case because we have been here a long time and things are not advancing, and there are days that we really feel weak and bad. Now, what could happen under Title 42? Well, now, what's going to happen in these interviews? Are they going to be treated under the current rules or the rules that change tonight at 9 p.m. our time? When Title 42 ends, Title 42 is that rule that basically allowed border and customs officials to turn away people seeking asylum without even getting to the credible fear part of the interview. To be granted asylum, you need to prove you have a credible fear under U.S. law. in order to be granted asylum, but they weren't even getting to the part where they could present their case why they believe they would be granted asylum. Will things get better with Title 42 ending? Well, there's obviously a lot of debate there nationally. Here's how one thing could change. We did talk to the policy director of the American Immigration Council, and under Title 42, one thing we saw a lot of people crossing the border illegally. There were 2.8 million people by one estimate turned away and sent right back to Mexico or the country they came from under Title 42. That included some who presented at the port of entry and many who came in illegally who may have tried to present a case of asylum after getting apprehended by Border Patrol, but instead were turned away. One thing that worked in some of those people's favor is that under Title 42, they were not given deportation orders and ordered to stay away from the country for 5 years. They were just sent away. So a lot of those people tried again and again and again, and with no consequences. Now, with Title 42 ending, the policy director at the American Immigration Council says that could change.
After Title 42 goes away and normal immigration law goes back into effect, those repeat crossings are likely to go down because the penalties for crossing the border under normal immigration law are actually harsher than under Title 42. But at the same time,